Ole Miss only has one commitment toward the 2025 class, but we're not worried about that this early in the cycle. Ole Miss is having an electric offseason. Lane Kiffin is acquiring talent by any means necessary, and it's only a matter of time before the 2025 commitments start rolling in. We got Zach Berry from OM Spirit dropping by to talk some recruiting. But first, Ole Miss fans, we got a long offseason ahead. I want you to be a part of it. So hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We're excited to talk Rebel recruiting. Hit subscribe for me, please. All right. Let's bring on Zach Berry. Now, we're going to talk Ole Miss most important recruiting targets right now. So we got to start with five-star wide receiver Caleb Cunningham out of the state of Mississippi. What are your sources saying early on? I know he made it to the top 12 or whatever he's released to this point, but where do you think Ole Miss stands with him?
I think they're in the thick of it. I would say Mississippi State is the leader and the current favorite right now. Jeff Lebby did a phenomenal job as soon as he was hired to take over in Starkville to prioritize him and make him feel like the number one guy. But Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin, new wide receivers coach George McDonald are going to get pretty active in this one, I think. Kiffin has made it kind of, hey, I'm personally recruiting Cunningham.
Right.
And then it'll be a full staff effort, of course, for a five-star guy like Cunningham. But yeah, I'm interested to hear from Cunningham and get his thoughts on the new wide receiver coach hire that Lane Kiffin made last month.
Do you expect him on campus this spring?
I think so. I mean, Ole Miss has liked to bring guys in for spring practice to kind of see like, hey, this is how we operate. This is how we go about our business. That's been the MO the last couple of years. But yeah, I think Cunningham is certainly someone who, regardless of if he commits early or not, will take all of his visits and enjoy the process and hear everybody out. I think he's pretty truthful with his responses. He's not going to, hey, I'm going to commit here and then I'm done. I think he's wanting to respect all the interest and respect all the coaching staffs and the programs that are recruiting him, and will hear everyone out and take his visit. So, yeah, if not in the spring, Ole Miss will certainly have another Juice Fest this summer, usually late July. But it's going to be a battle, and it's not just Ole Miss and Mississippi State. You've got Florida State, you've got LSU. Everybody wants Cunningham. So,
yep.
I think Mississippi State's certainly the favorite right now. But I think Ole Miss is going to go down fighting until pen to paper.
All right, a lot of twists and turns left in that one. The next prospect we got to talk about is the top quarterback in the state of Mississippi, but he made an early commitment to Notre Dame. I'm talking about quarterback Deuce Knight. Zach, do you expect Ole Miss to still be a factor here, and are they going to go the distance trying to recruit Deuce Knight despite his early commitment?
Absolutely. I think they are going to, again, all the way to signing day. They won't stop. Ole Miss is going to prioritize. I don't want to speak for them. This is my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like Kiffin's use of the portal, they will prioritize probably 15 to 20 high school guys, and then they will try to allocate all resources and manpower to those, and then hit the portal. And Deuce Knight's definitely in that 15 to 20. And, yeah, Ole Miss has been to see him play basketball. They've constantly talked to him. I know he says he pretty much hears from the staff every day. It is absolutely, especially at that position, priority one for Ole Miss. The quarterback room is pretty loaded and pretty talented in Oxford right now. But Kiffin's going to take a quarterback, it seems, every single year, whether it's portal or high school. If he believes he's a fit in the system and can get it done, then yeah. And you mentioned twists and turns with Cunningham, twists and turns with Deuce Knight too. Transferred to Lipscomb Academy in Nashville, goes back home to George County. A lot of people thought it was going to be Ole Miss or Auburn. And then I don't want to say to the surprise of Notre Dame people, because Marcus Freeman and that staff did a great job recruiting him, but commits to Notre Dame. He's been up to South Bend. I mean, I can't even keep track of how many times he's been up there. It seems like he went to every home game.
Yeah.
So he's saying all the right things as a committed prospect, but he's still going to hear everyone out. And I imagine he'll take his visits. He'll go to Ole Miss. He'll go to some games because he's big on the fit. Every time I've talked with Deuce, he's big on, hey, how do I fit in the offense? Do I see myself being successful in it? So you know as well as I do, as long as Ole Miss is throwing the ball around, running the football, spreading things out with Lane Kiffin, then they're going to be in the mix there.
Yeah, I expect that one to. I don't think that Lane Kiffin's going to let that one just go away quietly. I think that he'll make some noise in that recruitment. All right, let's head to the trenches.
Going to make Marcus Freeman work.
Yeah, exactly. You might as well make him sweat a little bit. All right, let's head to the trenches. And last year, the centerpiece of that D-line class was Cam Franklin. And it looks like this year the priority target is going to be Andrew Maddox. He's out of Hattiesburg. He's a top 100 prospect. Where does Ole Miss stand with him early on?
Well, big step forward taken in the 24 cycle. Ole Miss signed his brother, A.J. Maddox. That was big. Defensive coordinator Pete Golding and Maddox's dad go way back to their time in college. So there's a connection there, off the field, personal relationship there, but also respected name as a defensive coordinator in the SEC. Year one, top 25 SP plus defense. That's gotten the attention of a lot of defensive prospects. High school and the portal, as we saw Ole Miss land, Walter Nolan, Prince Umamielen, a bunch of really good portal players. Now it's starting to show on the trail at the high school ranks. I think Ole Miss is probably the leader right now for Andrew Maddox. I think he's another one. A lot of these guys are pretty honest with how they're going to go about their recruitment. The trend now is a lot of guys want to go take their visits early and then make a decision before their senior year so they can focus on playing ball with their friends and enjoying that last ride. But yeah, I think Ole Miss is certainly the favorite, not just because of the connection with Golding, but having the brother there, the familiarity doesn't hurt. And I think Randall Joyner, the defensive line coach at Ole Miss, has been putting in the work here for the last couple of years. I think Auburn's probably the biggest competition there. Hugh Freeze has been really hammering away. Losing Jeremy Garrett to an NFL gig might put them back a step or two, but they're going to be neck and neck with Ole Miss for this one.
All right. The last prospect I want to hit on is running back Akeelan Deer. He's one of the most explosive players on Ole Miss's recruiting board. Is he in that top 20 group of guys that they would love to have from the high school ranks?
Yeah, absolutely. I talked with AK after his visit for Ole Miss's junior day, and he said, plain and simple, Lane Kiffin said, "You're our guy, number one on the board at running back." There's been some really good running backs the last couple years out of the state of Mississippi. Some names that come to mind. I've heard some comps thrown out around Cam Akers. Is he going to be as good as Cam Akers was coming out of high school? I mean, the frame is there, the skill set. Every bit of 6'1", 200 pounds, can really run. He's really good out of the backfield too. I think that's why Kiffin loves him. Kevin Smith, the running backs coach, they love that versatility, being able to catch balls, screens, put him in the slot. He can run routes. I put in an RPM prediction last week for AK Deer to end up at Ole Miss. I don't know if it's imminent, but I know he's thinking about narrowing things down again. But again, like I said, the trend of making a decision prior to your senior season is something that I could see happening here. And if that's the case, I think Ole Miss is going to hear its name called early.
Yeah, you can kind of feel Ole Miss recruiting starting to heat up. So I got a bonus question for you. Could top 150 linebacker Jarobi Hopson be the next prospect from the high school level to commit to Ole Miss?
He could be. The last couple times I've talked with Jarobi, he said that he wants to get it done before his senior season. I think the target date currently now, it's tentative. It could move around. It could be earlier. He said August. So right around the time when fall camp starts for these high school players, he's wanting to get it done. He's a real quiet, reserved kid. He doesn't talk a lot. He doesn't do a lot of social media stuff, but he was pretty adamant that he wants to make a decision before his senior season, wants to lead his team back to the playoffs, try to get a state championship before he moves on to college. So could be. Ole Miss typically is not a program that's going to push for a lot of early commitments. They're going to kind of let guys do their thing, hey, come here, visit, but hey, take your other visits, see what everybody else offers, maybe compare to what we offer. It's never been one of those, hey, we want to stockpile a bunch of commitments before the spring or summer. But I think Ole Miss is definitely the leader there. I put in a pick for him last week as well. I think Ole Miss is in a great spot. They just signed his brother, Jarobi Hopson, really good wide receiver out of the junior college ranks. Started at Mississippi State, went to Northwest Mississippi, just down the road in Senatobia, was their leading receiver last year. So another good get at the JUCO ranks at wide receiver for Ole Miss. So, again, certainly doesn't hurt that his brother is on campus. He'll be there in the summer. So, maybe he is the next one. But if someone's in between them, I wouldn't be shocked. But I think Ole Miss is in a good spot for Jarobi Hopson for sure.
All right, well, it's going to be a fun offseason. Like I said, Ole Miss, they're just about to get started. Zach Berry from OM Spirit, thank you for dropping by, talking some Rebel recruiting on the Inside Scoop today.
Absolutely. I'll have a good one.
Thank you for watching this video, and if you enjoyed that, go check out the hundreds of videos that we have on this channel, and also do me a favor, hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel.